Will it? Lee Jones? Solidarity? Strength?
Well, it is very performative. I mean, it is designed to send a message to Vladimir Putin that NATO is united and will take decisive action and so on and so forth. I think it's also signalling to a domestic public as well that, Russia is this huge threat to Eastern Europe. And to that extent, I think it's misleading. We've always got to remember that Russia has an army of about 280,000. That is insufficient to occupy Ukraine. So there's a usual standard that military uses. For every 40 people who live in a country, you need one soldier to occupy a country. So to occupy Ukraine, Russia would need 1.1 million soldiers. So what we've got actually is quite a dysfunctional Russian military that cannot capture cities 20 kilometres from Russia's borders. The idea that it can menace NATO countries, I think, is simply not very credible. NATO knows this, so it's trying to signal to domestic public that Vladimir Putin is this huge threat to Eastern Europe. It's also trying to signal to Vladimir Putin, don't mess with us, don't interfere with NATO weapons shipments to Ukraine and so on. So that's what these exercises are about.
And do you support these kind of things, Alex? Is this what we should be doing?
I think we should be doing all we can to support Ukraine. I accept Lee's basic point that absent the use of nuclear weapons, Russia is not capable in conventional terms of genuinely threatening NATO countries. But of course, our friends in Ukraine have been more than threatened. They've been invaded, stomped on, bombed and abused terribly, such that millions of them have had to flee their country. Now, what we're talking here is not going into Ukraine. We're talking about wargaming. We're talking about the kind of exercises that we used to mount demonstrating the strength of NATO capabilities against Warsaw Pact countries for decades during the Cold War. Let us hope that they listen to it, but let us hope in the meantime we don't think this is enough. We've got to keep supplying munitions and material to the Ukrainians and up that to help them win against the Russians.